What's up guys, it's me Jeremy and welcome to my guide about pressure in League of Legends. It's an extremely important concept that's actually fairly complicated, so I'll do my best to explain it for you. First, we need to establish what it actually is. Pressure in League of Legends can be described as anything that forces your opponent to do something that they don't want to do. And yes, it really is as general as it sounds. Pressure can come from almost anything, such as pushing a lane, taking dragon, or even something simple as winning a trade. To put this into perspective, think about pressure, or stress, in psychology. Just a little amount of stress will not really do anything and can even be beneficial sometimes, but if you have a huge amount of stress, you can experience major issues, especially ones that affect your decision-making capabilities. The same goes for in League of Legends. Applying only a little bit of pressure can be bad, because it doesn't really accomplish anything, and could even lead to your opponents playing better, but a huge amount will cause your opponent to make major mistakes and put you at a significant advantage, or at the very least give you control of the situation. The effect of stress in psychology is very similar to the effect of pressure in League of Legends. Think of your opponents as people you're trying to apply stress to. This pressure will cause them to make mistakes and give up advantages, similar to how an individual would make mistakes or experience problems whilst under stress. Another thing to understand is the importance of pressure. Every single game ever played is hugely affected by who can manage and apply pressure better than the opposing team, even if they don't know it. It just leads to so many positive things if used correctly, such as free towers, barons, kills, etc. Good shot callers have a solid understanding of pressure and how it works in the game, in order to best judge situations and make those calls. Now I know it might be a little hard to comprehend at this point, but let me get into the core of the concept, which is where pressure comes from. Upon first glance, it seems like pressure comes from doing things that give you an advantage, but that's only partially true. The real source is the potential to do things that give you an advantage. This is because when you have that potential, it forces your opponents to react in a way they would not want to, thus applying that much desired pressure. When you're pushing a lane, it applies pressure because you have the potential to take towers. If you're positioning for Baron, you have the potential to take Baron, and so on. Note that if you don't have any potential to do anything, then you are not applying pressure in any way. There really are just so many sources that it's impossible to list, but in general, anything that has the potential to give you an advantage, even small, is in fact applying pressure. This is important to note because it brings me into my next few points: when and how to apply pressure. First, you need to understand that pressure is measurable. Doing something big like split pushing a lane will apply a lot more pressure than zoning your opponent from some CS, since your potential to gain an advantage is much bigger in the first situation. Knowing when and how to apply pressure is hugely dependent on the position of both teams. In general, you want to apply pressure when there is no chance of you or your team getting caught out, and how much to apply is just based on the chances of you getting caught out. Apply as much pressure as possible if you are safe, and just be careful if you aren't. The reason why I'm emphasizing getting caught out to be so bad is because it pretty much is. When you die, you eliminate all sources of pressure that not only you, but also your team as well has for about 2 minutes or so, because that's essentially the time that you're removed from the game. And your team won't be able to do anything 4v5 unless you're already ridiculously far ahead. I've divided pressure into two categories to make it a little bit easier to explain. There is solo pressure that is applied and controlled by only you, thus the name, and team pressure, which is applied and controlled by yourself in coordination with at least one teammate. Knowing what things apply how much pressure will allow you to judge what you should do. Things apply more pressure if they force more people to do things they don't want to do, and have a greater potential to give you an advantage. For example, split pushing is pretty much the biggest thing a person can do for solo pressure, as it creates a situation where your opponents have to react. Or something like pushing down an inhibitor tower as a group of 5, while you have a different lane pushing via the minions, creates a huge amount of team pressure because your opponents have no room to do anything that will end with them gaining an advantage, if you play it correctly, because it will have to send someone to stop the minions, and then you can either take the tower or fight 4v5 due to the pressure you're applying. However, if we look at these two examples, both of them could end disastrously. If you try to split push, it's possible that your team could get engaged upon 4v5, resulting in them getting completely destroyed in a fight, And in the other example, one of your teammates could end up getting caught under the tower, and then your team gets aced. It's important to know how much pressure you can apply, and be sure that whatever you are doing, there is no room for anyone to get caught out, or for the situation to be turned upon you. It is really just all situational though, so you have to be the judge for yourself. But in general, you want to do things that will give you an advantage, while always being wary of your opponent's potential as well, because they can apply pressure onto you, so you want to avoid that by being the side that controls the pressure in a way beneficial to your team by making smart plays. If you can master the art of understanding and predicting pressure, you will make a huge step in becoming an excellent shot caller and decision maker in League of Legends. So, that's it for my guide on pressure. I'd love it if you could support me with a like or some feedback in the comments, and if you have any questions, I would absolutely love to see you in the comments too. Also, I've made a Twitter and a Facebook page, so I'll have links in the description if you want to follow me on those. Please subscribe for more awesome content if you enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.